On December 7, 2023, we observed the class of Mrs. Rowena Villanueva at Bayambang National High School. The classroom environment was pleasant. While observing, we noticed that Mrs. Villanueva is very caring to those who have problems with their eyesight. She read some of the slides containing questions for those who can see it. There is also one student she allowed to move up front so she can see the questions well. Aside from that, there was no student who has different culture or language. All of them were the same at that point.
According to our observation, mostly the girls were silent and the boys kept on interacting with the teacher. But the teacher voluntarily interacts with the students to keep the environment lively. But the interaction was limited since the teacher was conducting an assessment. Also, the students interact with the teacher by asking questions and instruction so they can do the task more clearly.
We think that the relationship of being cooperative and competitive with each other wasn't shown much. In our opinion, more days should be spent in observing before making an assumption between the students' relationships. Also, it can't be displayed that much because during the assessment, they were not allowed to talk with their seatmates because it could result into cheating. Maybe some were friendly at each other, but the competitive side wasn't shown that much. Most of them cooperated during the checking and some displayed comparing of scores, but it was to see who got the lowest, not the highest, and they just laugh it off after finding out the result of their assessments.
In the class, we noticed that the teacher played the key role in the classroom because she throws in jokes from time to time to make the mood lighter. There was also a attention-seeker student who kept on butting in on conversations even if the students and the teacher is not talking. There was also a little teacher which the teacher always gave tasks, other from done, that we couldn't notice others at all because they were all quiet and conscious of our presence.
According to our observations, when the teacher throws in jokes or say something, most of them react well and laugh. But some don't even react at all, or they just smirk, then they go back to their normal facial expression. We couldn't observe that well because there wasn't a lot of interaction because they were taking an assessment.
We felt ecstatic because there was oneness or unity inside the classroom. They listened well to the teacher, and the students we observed were not noisy at all, and also they are great at following instructions. Even during their assessment, all of them were quiet and focusing on their own paper. When the assessment finished, their unity was shown when they were answering the assessment. They answered the questions right and in chorus.
In the future, we would like our learners to interact with us lively since we are the future TLE teachers. We would like that every time in our class, they're always lively, actively, and mentally ready for anything. First, we would like to ask them to create a food that reflects on their personality and present in front of the class. And even outside of class hours, we would like to interact with them so they will feel comfortable around us and they can ask about the lessons and instructions easily and without pressure.
Learning is a journey away from the learner's comfort zone. Diversity in and out of the classroom will continue to grow. So it's essential that we future educators know how to prepare students to adapt to an evolving world and how to help them embrace those differences from themselves.
There are a lot of learning styles and multiple intelligence that as students exhibit, and that we should know how to cater each of them within the classroom. An acknowledgement of diversity allows for students and teachers to feel free to question and observe the learning at hand.
The preschoolers have a high level of physical activity and movement. The implications to the teaching learning process have incorporated active learning. Music and movement provide gross motor activities, create a safe environment, and foster social interaction.
Elementary school silent characteristic observed is incorporate active learning, creating a safe environment, and foster social interaction to support the teaching process for preschoolers. It is important to incorporate active learning strategies.
The high school students exhibit increasing independence and autonomy. Implications to the teacher learning process encourage critical thinking, promote collaborative learning, provide self-reflection opportunities, and offer real-world connections.
Diversity within the learners provides opportunities for solving problems in new ways because they bring alternative viewpoints to the group. It can also be discussed on the acceptance of the various minds within a classroom. It is important to recognize that students learn from lessons, teachers learn from the students, and the students also learn from their peers.
In order to ensure that all students can meet their learning objectives, the domain of diversity of learners emphasizes the idea that teachers can support the learning process in a variety of learner types by first acknowledging and respecting individual differences, then using that knowledge to design diverse set of learning activities.